once again, you've been pulled into the Black Dimension. I'm Kev, and Donnie is here also, and we're here to discuss the Netflix series Cobra Kai Season 4. Like a little fun fact about myself and Donnie: between the two of us, one of us is an actual trained martial artist, and the other one of us is a trained video game martial artist. So, so what's going on, Donnie?
Man, I'm over here trying to get my black belt in GTA.
GTA, yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah, but let's discuss Cobra Kai season 4. And before we get started, thank you for all of you that tune in to our broadcast here on the Black Dimension. Your new favorite entertainment and pop culture channel. And if you're watching and if this is your first time here, go below the screen and hit that subscribe button. Yeah, we definitely have more to come. Yeah, so now about Cobra Kai season 4. Um, my initial thoughts after finishing binge watching it is that not only was four very good, Cobra Kai overall is a very good very good episodic journey in you know the the story continuity of the Karate Kid. Now, I will say this: Ralph Macchio. He's gone on interviews and said that never really liked the Karate Kid 3. He said the Karate Kid 3 was just a rehash of the other two films. Poor, helpless Daniel LaRusso getting bullied. And, like, as far as the Karate Kid movie, Part 3 movie itself, he felt as if Terry Silver really didn't fit in. But he says this right here fixed that entire thing. Yeah, I do remember having issues with the Karate Kid and thinking that Daniel, after all this karate training, still's kind of acting like a wimp. But and Ralph Macchio might have been kind of on it as far as his disdain for the movie itself. But yeah, but this show right here has redeemed the entire Karate Kid franchise for me. So, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I was always a fan of the first two Karate Kids. Karate Kid 2 with Chosen, that was great. Karate Kid 3, it was just a little off, and it really was a rehash of the first two, right? The dynamic was Terry Silver. To me, Terry Silver as a character was phenomenal. He was fun to watch. He was a ridiculous person. But in terms of putting him into the story, he really didn't have a place. But again, you can't beat Terry Silver going to Mr. Miyagi and going woo woo, and then proceeding to get his ass kicked.
Yeah, the infallible Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, and yeah, that's about right for me. Terry Silver was probably the best part of Karate Kid Part 3. But this is a return arc for him. Kreese at the beginning called Terry Silver in to help him with Cobra Kai because it seemed like Dane LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence, two bitter rivals, had joined fortunes themselves. What they call when you have two, like they even named one of the episodes this, what they call it when you have two heads is called bicephaly. And Daniel and Johnny, of course, they had trouble kind of. A spoiler warning for anyone out there. Like, we're finna get into spoilers right now. Johnny and Daniel ultimately in this, they couldn't work together. And really season 4 has like a real big message on like bullying and how things can follow you from childhood throughout the rest of your life because you could just see it in Daniel's face every time he saw something that reminded him of what he went through in high school. Like with Johnny, with Kreese, and especially with the reemergence of Terry Silver. That one thing that I did like is the fact that coming into this season, Johnny Lawrence and Terry Silver never interacted. And yeah, he kicked Johnny's ass quite good. Yeah,
So it wasn't just you who blew that. I was like, damn, he really whooped his ass. And it, and
yeah,
it, and it seemed to me like Terry Silver had like taken an extreme hiatus. To me, it seemed like Terry Silver was a drug addict who was on a couple of different things, one of them being cocaine, and he just let it go to his head. And once he got rid of Crease, somebody put his ass in the rehab and was like, no, no, no. You gonna clean up, you gonna eat vegan, you gonna get your shit together. And he was always on the teeter until Crease came back around, right? But it did shock me that one, Johnny Lawrence never heard of him, being that Crease was supposed to be his big buddy that saved him the war and was really financing the school. Um, and then two, that it seemed like after all of these years of no practice, no martial arts that was taken from his life, Terry Silver jumped in and immediately kicked Johnny's ass.
I mean, like he got away from the whole sensei thing, as he said, like in during the beginning of his reappearance. He said it was kind of crazy for him to actually torture a kid, a high school teenager, with a karate tournament. But I just like looking at his character. I always knew that the evil side, like just watching him, knew that that evil side would reemerge, and that it was only a matter of a few episodes. And I think one thing that messed Crease up was the fact that he was so bent on getting inside of Terry Silver's head that it unlocked that evil again.
Yeah, he got ahead of himself. He pushed Terry Silver to a wall. Because for a moment I was like, is Terry Silver really this broken? Does he really feel like he owes that much of an allegiance to this man? Because in the third Karate Kid movie, that was an unstoppable nigga. The only thing that stops Terry Silver was Mr. Miyagi. Uh, so it really blew my mind that Kreese was able to go into the dojo at one point and kind of bitch him out and get Kreese into more of a subservient position.
Yeah, because Chris had took it personal that Terry Silver said he had a weakness. Yeah, he was. Then he kind of shined him a little bit. Oh, remember when we was in the cage? In Vietnam. If it wasn't for me, you'd still be in that cage. You'd want to act like a little bitch. And then that just really, I think that's what pushed Terry Silver over the edge. And because by the last episode, he was like, "All right, man, how many times am I gonna have to repay this before we're square?" You know, and he also pointed out that Crease's weakness, believe it or not, was Johnny Lawrence. And just toward the end, you kind of saw Crease like kind of like some of the like if there was any good in him, some of it tried to come out because I guess it was. I guess that's what Terry Silver does: siphon the evil from you.
I
but
mean, to me, it seems like the next season that there is going to be a redemption arc for Kreese. Um, Potentially a redemption arc for Kreese. Um, I feel like what was his name? Mike Barnes.
yeah, oh, Mr. Intensity from Karate Kid 3.
Right. I feel like he's going to come in, and I think that they're going to fully and completely push out uh, Johnny's son. I can't even think of his name. I'm at a mind
Robbie,
freeze. But
old Robbie
yeah,
King.
they'll push Robbie all the way out, and Robbie will be back with his dad. One of the things that I did not like about the season is Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai to me was always the Johnny Lawrence story, and this season it kind of felt like Ralph Macchio's character was more in the dominant or he was more in the limelight, more of the hero from the story. I mean, how did it feel to you?
Uh, Daniel Larusso got on my nerves quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got on my nerves quite a bit because he was like, "Well, since Terry Silver's back, Johnny, fuck you, and we're just gonna train my way because it defeated Cobra Kai before." Daniel Larusso was way too proud, and ultimately it costed them the martial arts tournament. Even though Eli Hawk did beat Robbie, now that was kind of a get back from season one when Robbie put Eli out of the tournament. He
Mhm.
was, yeah, because he was Daniel LaRusso's only fighter. So I do see like the Eli Hawk arc coming into full circle. I think they did really good with redeeming him, seeing that he was such a dick when he was with Cobra Kai. And that was one of the good things. Yeah, but here's something that I wanted to discuss as well. Like, there were many blurred lines. You didn't know who the good guys were. You didn't know who the bad guys were. But definitely, this kid right here, like, was definitely a POS. Anthony Larusso, and it was
Oh
all.
yeah,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I feel like yes, it did add to the story quite a bit, and they didn't exactly make him follow in his father's footsteps, like kind of like the daughter Samantha did. Like, if you think about Anthony Larusso's character from the very beginning, he was a very disrespectful, spoiled little kid who always had a video game in front of him. So one thing that Daniel did that I did kind of like, he took the iPad from him and broke it right in half and said, "I'm gonna stick my foot in your ass, you know." So
which by the way, very amazing. I can't do that in real life, but Daniel Larusso is a badass. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, but I mean, what he did to this kid right here, Kenny, is like just believe me, like I felt bad for Kenny, man, for real. The way they tricked him on that online game and the cosplaying as Dr. Scribblebottoms, and then they took pictures of him, put it on the internet. I mean, this like the bullying was massive on here, like especially online bullying. Can you imagine that? Like when we were in school, we didn't have internet and shit. Well, I didn't. We didn't have internet like that, so you couldn't really bully them like that. That bullying was kind of isolated. They did it on a school-wide scale, and this pushed this little kid. I mean, like once he started training with Robbie and Cobra Kai, it really pushed him to be a little asshole. And like, I don't blame him one bit for the way he was treated. He should have whooped Anthony Larusso's ass. Like when he jammed him up in that locker room, I was like, yes.
Yeah, I mean the strategicness of that plan where he took off running like he couldn't defend himself, like he was afraid, and then he went off into that library and cut them lights. Oh man, I was like, oh shit, they didn't they didn't woke the sleeping giant.
Oh yeah, he had them hands too. Now, now, like I said, like Anthony Larusso and his friends deserved every bit of that, every bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, bully gets beat up. It's really time old as tell old as time. He gets his respect, and Anthony Russo has to kind of man up and eat the fact that this kid can kick his ass, and b he was in the wrong. Um, this there was a lot to learn from this. Uh, my question though is, what do you think in terms of future fights? Who do you think, or what do you want to see for next season?
What I want to see for next season, well, I would like Miguel to, and no pun intended, I would like for Miguel to grow a spine again. Like, for real, like the way he kind of left the tournament, man, that was just kind of sappy to me. Yeah, I would like to see Kenny grow as a fighter. Maybe Anthony Larusso finally realized that maybe he needs to probably train a little bit in order to defend himself, because Kenny gonna kick like Kenny promised him he gonna kick his ass all through high school. Um, yeah, but I would definitely like to see more Terry Silver. I would like to see Daniel LaRusso finally realize that, hey, you know what? I'm not perfect at everything. Yeah, Johnny Lawrence finally win at life in some kind of way. 'Cause, I mean, Johnny Lawrence is funny as shit. I would say between him and Terry Silver, they're my favorite characters. But one thing that I am thinking about is they called it the under 18 tournament. So a lot of these kids are about to turn 18, which means that they got to bring new cast members in. But what I would like to see is maybe the return of other characters. Like if they can bring back Terry Silver, they could probably bring in Mike Barnes. They can probably bring in Hilary Swank's character, and just make it a complete. Make the show complete as far as the callback to the original series. Now, Jaden Smith's Karate Kid with Jackie Chan
Yeah.
being Mr. Miyagi, that's probably gonna get treated like Ghostbusters 2016, and I don't really care because when I watched the film, I was like, huh?
I,
But
doesn't Will Smith owns the rights to this, doesn't he?
yeah, I think yeah, he's the executive producer. Yeah. So I
Yeah. So
mean, it could be a possibility that Jaden Smith's character could come in at some point, but he has no ties to Larusso. He has no ties
none
to Johnny
whatsoever.
Lawrence. None. So how could they make that work? Because if I'm not,
They-
Jackie Chan wasn't Mr. Miyagi, was he? He was a. What was he named Mr. Miyagi? I don't even remember.
for one, Karate Kid is they're doing karate. With Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan, they were doing kung fu. Um, it really everything was different about it. It's still martial art, but it's just stylistically completely different. Um, so if they were to do, I don't know, Jaden Smith in there, it would have to be a cameo, a la not Ong Bak, but the Protector, kind of where Tony Jaa is walking through the airport and he bumps into Jackie Chan. That's the only way I could think it would work. He would have to kind of like, oh, it's a nod. Otherwise, Jaden Smith's character has no business being in Karate Kid whatsoever. Um, but one of the things you did say struck me as funny. The All Valley tournament has an 18 and under uh, competition. Do they not have an 18 and older competition?
I don't know how much sense it would make to the story itself, but like, which really makes me question why are they allowing Stingray, like the guy on the screen, to train with them.
Well, so it is a martial arts dojo, so you are going to have some older people in there. But the reason I brought up the 18 and older is because I would like to see the older generation jump in, right? So I would like to see a Daniel LaRusso in the tournament, or see a Johnny Lawrence in the tournament with Mike Barnes's character, right? I think that would be something fun to watch, and maybe that would be an excuse for them to be able to bring their dojos back if they win the tournament or if they win or place high enough. In addition to that, I think they are going to have to bring in some more characters. But my understanding is they had their junior prom, so they got one more year at least for them to put out another season, season five, or you know, and run from there.
So,
Um,
do you think that Anthony Larusso will finally buckle down and say, "Hey, I want to learn these martial arts, so Kenny won't be kicking my ass throughout the whole thing, entire
no,
You think he's gonna stay this spoiled rich kid type that
he's gonna
doesn't kick?
he's gonna stay the spoiled rich kid. He's gonna have to make friends with the guy. I actually think that the tides will turn and that kid will start bullying him. But I don't foresee a him actually legitimately learning to fight. But I mean, anything could happen. He is supposed to be Daniel LaRusso's kid, so
Yeah, and boy, can Daniel Larusso hold a grudge? But can you blame him for
it.
what he went through?
Well,
uh,
I've always said it, and there was I think even where the concept of Cobra Kai came from was there was a YouTuber who talked about how Daniel LaRusso was a sociopath, and, and he ruined Johnny Lawrence's junior year of high school because he was being a dickhead. So if you look at it from the flip side, even from the first season of Cobra Kai, Daniel LaRusso was a dick, and for him to have a grudge only supports the theory.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, especially like really refusing to work with Johnny. Uh, to and if and here's the thing, maybe if he did put his pride and his grudges to the side to work with Johnny, maybe they would have won the All Valley tournament together. But instead, Cobra Kai comes out on top once again, and I guess they were supposed to win because the show was named Cobra Kai. Now, as far as them going away as senseis, I pretty much doubt it.
Well,
Uh,
you saw the end. He said screw that. I think Johnny Lawrence will hold his end of the bargain, but again, supporting the position that Daniel Lawrence is a sociopath. That nigga don't. He's not beholden to his word.
Not at all.
Oh,
And I mean, like, I don't blame him because ultimately, like I said, spoilers, uh, Cobra Kai did cheat through Terry Silver.
mhm.
Now that's kind of just low. Why are you paying a referee to mess over some kids? but It would. I guess it wouldn't be Terry Silver without it. Now, now Kreese was arrested by the end of it, and and it was because of Terry Silver's deviousness. He beat, what was his name? Stingray walked in, or
Stingray.
yeah, Stingray walked in talking about, what can I do to be a part of Cobra Kai? Terry Silver whooped his ass and said, hey, you know what? You're going to tell the police that Kreese did it. So I would like to see that unfold in season 5 as well. The fact that because Tori, as she's carrying her female championship trophy proudly, she walked in on Terry's, no, not walk in on Terry Silver. She was walking by a room where Terry Silver and the referee were discussing him being paid off, and it's like, how is Tori gonna react next season? Is she gonna actually spring it on everybody that Terry Silver bought the referee off? Because that, like, to me, that's a pathetic ass referee. He's gonna screw them kids over like that. But whatever, that's life. So yeah, so I believe that everything that happened in season 4 is probably going to be redeemed in season 5, and season 5 has already been filmed, so that's going to come sooner than later.
Oh yeah, we'll probably get that by the well, more than likely probably April. I don't
April.
see why they would. Yeah, I don't see why they would hold on to it for another year. It just wouldn't make sense. I would think maybe 4 to 5 months, and then they would prep it to leave it open for season 6. Maybe one final battle or some shenanigans. The show's popular. The show told a hell of a story. We've kind of got the culmination of the 3 Karate Kid movies coming at a head really at this next season. Why not bring in, Hillary Swanks?
Yeah, and Terry Silver, a man that puts evil in the word silver. You could actually pull the word evil out of silver, and a man that for some reason can hear his own theme music. So now, my thing, one more thing, I'm interested in how this is going to work out. If Daniel's already too proud to work with Johnny, and Chosen tried to kill him, how is he going to work with Chosen?
Well, I am hoping that Chosen gives him more of an aggressive push, which brings in Johnny, and he kind of sides with Johnny. Because I really feel like last season 4, they hold Johnny out in his old style. They really just ignored until it was needed.
Yeah. Yeah, Chosen, I believe, is going to be the ruthlessness to Miyagi Do, because he is actually originally trained in Miyagi Do. So Daniel kind of has to give him that respect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean his Miyagi's brother, right? It was Miyagi's brother from 2, and Miyagi's brother had the other side of the training. So I I'd be real curious to find out if Miyagi Do wasn't completely defense, and they had a whole technique of ass kickery that Chosen was like, well, let me show you something.
yeah, but then you're going to have to put that pride to the side if you want Miyagi Do to rise in prominence, because Cobra Kai, because of that victory, they're multiplying. Like, they're going to have dojos all over that area. So that'll be interesting, and especially backed by Terry Silver, that shit's gonna be very entertaining in season 5. So season 4 is dead. If you haven't checked it out, and you watched this broadcast, we gave a lot of stuff away, but still worth checking out. Yeah, the whole thing about this is, um, when you watch this, and I'll say this, don't exactly be quick to jump to someone's side. I would say that, because you really don't know who is being the terrible one and who's being the good one. Even with characters like Tori. I realized that Sam wanted to get back at her for some of them things, but she kind of put Tori through some shit too. So, I mean, yeah, but overall, great show. Definitely worth checking out. I have in fact started binge watching the other seasons again, just to see how everything put together. It's pretty good. So, yeah, anything else you have left to say on this?
Nah, I just want to do some lines with Terry Silver. But he got that Peruvian.
Say that Peruvian. Yeah, man. Yeah, but Johnny. I'm just saying. Look, just looking forward to more Johnny Lawrence kicking mailboxes and destroying scooters. Yeah, that shit was funny. But Cobra Kai season 4, uh, definitely a fun watch. Check it out if you haven't. This is Kevin Donnie. You have been pulled into the black dimension. Good luck finding your way out. Thank you. See you next time.